Okay, how's everybody doing? So I just want to take a few minutes here to just talk to you about weathering with acrylics. Like I've, been in model building like the average model builder, most of my life, and I like to do various subjects like model trains, military models, etc. I mean, it was military models that really got me into weathering in the first place. Now, I like to do little models like this because they're cheap and they're really good warm-up pieces or practice pieces for, like, let's say a $400 or $500 locomotive. And yeah, I've painted hundreds over the decades of modeling, but sometimes like you don't have the confidence to put paint on a model. However, I find that whenever I listen to like accomplished modelers, master modelers, figure painters, military modelers, model railroaders that are, accomplished in their craft, they all say the same thing. If you ask them, you just got to take every advantage you can, every hour, every minute, every moment to do something. Like just because somebody has a gift doesn't make them an automatic painter. And just because somebody watches a bank of videos and logs them in their mind and says, well, one day I'm going to sit down and do that, doesn't mean you'll be able to do it. The people that are able to do it are the ones that actually just practice. It's just practice. It's all it is. It doesn't matter whether you're gifted or not. You can give somebody a gift and they never open it and just look at it as a gift and hold on to it as a gift. But until you open it and engage with it, you won't produce anything, or you won't have any content or ability or experience with the gift itself. So you got to practice no matter what. So this is just water that I put on the side here. And then this is one color by Vallejo. I like to use the Sand Beige number 71.244. And I want to just talk to you about acrylics for a second. So acrylic paints are probably one of the fastest drying paints there is. However, the process is not necessarily faster than enamels or oils. And the reason why is because when you apply filters like this, you have to wait till they dry. And then because they're so subtle and they don't always translate well for video, they do start to build up and show like eventually. So the process of applications, like you probably apply 12 filters. That takes a bit of time. If you only applied like 4 with enamels, let's say, well, that doesn't take as long either. So it's not that acrylics are faster. They dry faster. However, if you're applying really thin filters, acrylics are awesome because when they do dry fast, you can put on another one and you can begin to see the results. You can see here where if I blob paint like that, you see how it runs like that? Like one of the key fundamentals of acrylic paint, I think, is the water, is the solvent itself. Like that's what helps to create, the soft edge. And that's really important because oftentimes tide marks can be your enemy. They can be your friend or foe. Like you might want a tide mark, but for the most part, you really don't want tide marks. You want the edges to be soft. And the way to do it is to put the paint on the model that's already been wet, just beyond damp. You don't want it to be just completely flooded with water. But then again, sometimes it doesn't really matter because the water starts to evaporate. And if you stay with the paint, you can see what's happening. And this will tone down a bit, which is good because once it's dry, you can come in with another color and another color. And it doesn't matter how many layers you put on with this method, you'll never get an excessive paint buildup. Like it'll never show. The only thing that will show is the filter, which you can shift and change and cover up anyway. And eventually what happens is you get this sort of depth of acrylic colors that really start to look cool. Like even when you rotate and move the model, like the angles, like the depth, like you won't always see them on camera from one angle, but when you look at the model live, you begin to realize that, hey, wow, like acrylic paints and filters really do work well. You can see here that I've been also applying layers like with this, like a bit of static grass and some of the Vallejo mud, and just applying filters here. So this is 3 or 4 applications that I built up in the same way I'm doing on the side here. I'll come in here later with a darker wash, like a dark brown or an umber wash, to highlight some of the, you know, the transitions of soil to the armor plate here, etc. And that's the nice thing about applying thin water-based acrylics like this, is like you're never going to really pooch yourself, because if you do it like this and it dries, you can say, okay, that's good, I'm going to leave it. All right. Now you can do the same thing with enamel, and or you can start to apply enamel washes, etc., whatever, over top of these acrylics, because the acrylic base is practically impervious to oil paints and enamel paints and, you know, odorless mineral spirits, etc. So that's the nice thing, is you keep all your options open. So that's one of the things this is one of the reasons why I like to use acrylics for weathering like this. And it also helps to angle the model, like if you want gravity to pull the water down like it would in the real world, which is like you can do it with any part of the model. So, but you want to focus on one panel or one side with this method, I find, especially with water, because the water will run. Like, see here, see how it's starting to run to the front of this panel here? And then watch what happens when I tilt it backwards. See how it's building up down at the back corner here? Okay. So that's why I like to do it. It's a cool method. It's not the be-all, end-all method, but it is a cool method if you like to do things like you're a little bit timid or whatever, and you just want to see, you know, incremental results on your model that won't wreck the model, that you can actually fix and change. Like you could even apply olive washes on this as well to change it up. And if you do a spot like that, you can just wipe it away or wick some of it away as well. As long as you stay with it, and as long as the model is wet, you can flick paint on like that. It'll be fine, okay?